Hello, class, and welcome to the audio syllabus for the very first ever session of Fail Films 101. My name is Jax Rowland. You can call me Professor J, and I'm going to be your instructor through the wonderful, wonderful world of bad movies. I've been studying bad movies for as long as I can remember, and I've just been searching and searching for the absolute worst of the worst. From the movies that you find at the bottom of the $5 bin at Walmart, the ones that look like they haven't been touched for decades, to the must-see classics that everybody who loves bad movies talks about. You know, The Room, Troll 2, Plan 9 from Outer Space, all those. And the purpose of this class isn't, grades or assignments or anything like that. Honestly, it's just to share my love of these garbage movies with you. And class is going to meet, hopefully once a week, but I'm going to be honest with you, I have a job outside of this. Teaching does not pay the bills, so if I do fall a little bit behind, I'm sorry. That's my bad, but I'm going to do my best. I do have units divided up for the class, and I have movies picked out. I'm going to say that these are subject to change, because I'll be honest with you. I've got ADHD, and following a list makes things a little bit difficult, but I'm going to do my best. So the first unit that I've got lined up is entry-level classics. You know, these are the movies that you pretty much have to see if you want to get into bad movies. If you take a film appreciation class for good movies, they're going to talk about movies like The Godfather, Casablanca, Citizen Kane. These are those for bad movies, if that makes any sense. So for this unit, I've got The Room, Troll 2, Birdemic, Shock and Terror, Snakes on a Plane, and the Sharknado series. I've got another unit called A Fine Vintage. These are movies that were all made before 1980. So I've got House, which was made in 1977, and it's a Japanese horror movie. I've got Manos, The Hands of Fate. I've got Plan 9 from Outer Space, The Legend of Hell House, and buckle up for this title because it's a long one. The Incredibly Strange Creatures Who Stopped Living and Became Mixed Up Zombies. And that's not me questioning the title. The title actually ends with a question mark and 2 exclamation points. So that's how that's pronounced. I've got a unit called Wholesome Family Fun, and wholesome is in quotation marks because a lot of these movies are really not wholesome, but these are all movies that were marketed towards kids and families. So we've got Jack and Jill, Food Fight, B-Movie. We've got A Talking Cat, which is another movie with exclamation points and question marks, so that's how that's pronounced, and Grown Ups 1 and 2. I've got a unit called Blatant Ripoffs, which is exactly what it says on the tin. It's movies that are ripoffs of other things. We've got Max Magician and the Legend of the Rings, which is a ripoff of not only Lord of the Rings, but honestly, pretty much the entire fantasy genre. I've got Plan B, which is a ripoff of B-Movie. I am not kidding. A ripoff of B-Movie exists. I don't even know what I'm going to say to prepare you for this movie. I really don't. We've got Mac and Me, which is a ripoff of E.T. We've got Repo Men, which is a ripoff of Repo the Genetic Opera. And we've got Romeo and Juliet, Sealed with a Kiss, which is not only a ripoff of Romeo and Juliet, but it's a ripoff of Disney's entire concept of taking well-known classic tales and turning them into beloved animated classics. That's what they tried and failed to do with this. And why is it called Romeo and Juliet, Sealed with a Kiss? Because the entire cast of characters of this movie are seals, like the kind that you find in the ocean. I'm not kidding. This is a real movie that exists. And then we've got a unit called Flopbusters, which these are movies that were very highly publicized when they first came out, and they just did not hold up to their end of the bargain. So we've got From Justin to Kelly, After Earth, Batman and Robin, Catwoman, and the Twilight series. I'm also going to see if I can try and get my wife on as a guest speaker for the Twilight ones, because she loves the books, and I'm sure she has lots of insight on why the movies are as bad as they are in comparison to the books. But I'm not going to lie, she's a bit of an introvert, so if she doesn't want to do it, I'm going to respect her wishes, and maybe I can see if I can get somebody else to help me out with this, because I haven't read the books, and I have no intention of reading the books, but I feel like something like this would be very helpful if I had someone who read and enjoyed the books along with me to kind of explain things. And then we've got a unit called Nostalgiaville, which is their movies that we loved as kids, that we went back and watched as adults, that we realized are garbage. So for that, I've got The Last Unicorn, The Master of Disguise, Kazam, Wild Wild West, and Spice World. I've got another unit called Awful Adaptations, which is exactly another thing that it sounds like. I know that a lot of the movies in other units could have easily fallen under Awful Adaptations, but these are the movies that I look at them and I look at them like, why would you sully the good name of the source material with this filth? So, of course, right at the top of that list, I've got The Last Airbender. Right after that's Dragon Ball Evolution. We've got the Rocky and Bullwinkle movie, Inspector Gadget, and both the Flintstones and Viva Rock Vegas. I've also got a couple of units that I haven't picked out the movies for yet because I need to do a little bit of searching with that still, but they're going to be fun units. I've got Netflix and Chill, which are going to be movies that I find on Netflix that look like crap. And Discount Delights. These are going to be movies that I find at the dollar store and at the discount bin of Walmart. Basically, if it's like less than $5 and it looks like shit. I've also got some holiday movies picked out when, certain holidays roll around. Not just the December holidays. I'm talking like, I've got one for Thanksgiving, I've got one for Easter, I've got one for Valentine's Day and New Year's Day, and I think we all know what movies those are. But honestly, the entire month of December is probably going to be like Christmas movies and things like that. And if you have any bad movies for Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or any of the other December movies, then please send them to me. I'm also going to be taking suggestions from the class. So if you have any movies that you'd like to discuss with the class, feel free to send them to failfilms101@gmail.com. And hopefully if we get, a big enough class size and we get enough interest, I'd be happy to hopefully make this even a twice a week pod class, as I'm calling it, because I can't think of a more clever name. But hopefully we can make it a twice a week pod class, and I can do one of the classes as the unit that we're covering, and the other one as a movie that was suggested by the class. And my hope for you guys this class is that you just take a look at these movies that we as a society so often neglect, and you just find the joy behind them. You don't look at them with a critical lens, but you just look at them for the sheer entertainment, and you just laugh at how bad they are. And you find a different kind of fun in that than you would in watching a good movie like, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind or something like that. So class will begin spring semester 2019, so sometime in January, and I can't wait to see y'all then. Class dismissed.